started this gangster shit. This the motherfucking thanks I get. Hello. I started this gangster shit. And this the motherfucking thanks I get. Hello.
Hey, alright, if you're enjoying the content, please take a minute to hit that subscribe button. Join us. Thanks. Hey, it's your boy EVS. Welcome to Comic Artist Pro Secrets Live. I am, of course, Ethan Van Sciver, 26-year veteran of the comic book industry, world's most charming, elegant, eloquent, and yet humble man. Great big Star Wars fan, and what a momentous day. Today, I got home from we're looking at some houses, and boom, right on my doorstep there was Jawbreakers, nicely wrapped up, ready to go. And it was very exciting. I opened it up, and it had 2 posters in it. I'm going to hang those posters up in my office. They were folded. They were creased, like old school posters that you would get with magazines when you were a kid. They're like fold out, like removable posters. Very, very cool. Kind of an unexpected bonus. I didn't think I was going to get one of those. But what I really came for was, of course, Jawbreakers. This is a long-awaited project. This is the book right here that started it all. Let's be honest. This is the book that pointed the way forward for Comicsgate, and everyone who was able to get a copy of this. And if you don't have yours yet, it's on its way. I think ZACK actually hired a fulfillment center. I don't think ZACK did too many of these himself. The kids are running around upstairs. This is like a real Comic Artist Pro Secrets video. It's actually like welcome to my home. But anyway, beautiful project. So if you have one of these, you should basically treasure it. It is kind of historical in nature, just because it was the first. It was actually this is the fruition of Richard C. Meyer's hopes and dreams to be a comic book creator. Of course, he had done some comics in the past, but this obviously is one of the biggest best-selling comic books of the year, and it's finally in our hands. And I have to say, I'm a little jealous. It's a nice stock, nice kind of stock. I'm trying to remember where I'd felt this before. This kind of paper. It's a little bit waxy. By the way, this is my cover, of course. I don't know what's up with ZACK, like why he did this. Like, ZACK, honestly, you could just cover this up. You know what I mean? Like, what I would have done is just stretch the logo out this way and then had the leg up maybe over. But ZACK's like so respectful of the artwork that he just put the little logo real small in the corner here and just let the book be one big image. I'm quite used to having a good portion of my artwork actually covered up by the logo and the trade dress. ZACK, on the other hand, was respectful. There's the signature, colored by Kyle Ritter, and Splato logo. Splato Comics at the bottom. So anyway, I'm jealous of the spine. Quite a good presentation here. I'm not going to get a spine on Cyberfrog Blood Honey because we already promised chromium, and they said that they can't do a spine. Like, they can't fold the chromium, to make a spine. So it's actually just, it's going to be saddle stitched or probably glued or something like that. But it'll look like a normal comic book, just a fat one. All right, so pretty excited about this. Open the book. And here's the thing right here, the autograph. ZACK sat down and he signed Meyer 10,000 times. Can't wait until it's my turn to do that. Good for him. I mean, this was a big deal. He didn't want to sign. He was looking for every excuse not to autograph his own comic. Autographing a lot of books is a pain. It is something else. It's a trial. I've had to do it a bunch of times where I have to sit down and they just place a bunch of books in front of me, and you just have to turn your brain off and just, there's this mechanical thing that happens where you just kind of sign your signature over and over and over again. Still in all, he was able to do that. And this is, I think, the main thing that people wanted. People wanted his autograph. People wanted to know that he touch the book, and it made this autograph makes it worth the $25, I think, in and of itself. A lot more content than I thought there would be. You've got, I didn't realize, and I guess I should have, I didn't realize that John Malin's portion of the book wasn't going to be the entire thing. I mean, there's, certainly I think there's a 48 pages that he did, and then there's a reprint called Book 1. Kelsey Shannon drew artwork for Book 2, and by the way, it looks really, really cool. There's my name. Bob Stone did the logo, and let me tell you something. That logo is awesome. That logo belongs on the back of a jacket. And the community fan art gallery, it looks like I've got a piece in there again, and a lot of other people as well. Yeah. So lettering looks tight. I read it. I read the John Malin part. I only kind of flipped through the other two books. I haven't read them yet. It's typical. It's full of a lot of kind of the humor that you'd expect from ZACK. His sense of humor about things. I don't. Your mileage may vary about that. I think he's pretty funny. And then, of course, John Malin's artwork. A lot of these pages are super familiar. Obviously, this image is very familiar by now. A lot of people saw this image and really fell in love with John Malin's artwork and the way he draws women, and then basically told ZACK to kind of rewrite his story a little bit to include this character a lot more. And he did. So she's in this book quite a bit more. I will say my criticism of the story is that this relationship here becomes mature, and by mature I mean the kind of relationship that people would have after knowing each other for years, almost instantly. I mean, it's like, that's the one thing that kind of, I was like, wait a second, these two are just basically hooking up here for the first time, and they're talking to each other like it's Gone with the Wind or something like that. At one point they're really like, I can't live without you, and I'm always safe in your arms and things like that. How do you know that? You don't know that you're always safe in his arms. You just met him 3 days ago. Here's the big monkey. I'll criticize this a little bit. Even though this is a pretty neat shot, I look at this and it's still kind of, if I were John Malin, and I'll criticize John Malin just for 1 second. This image here would have been completely different. This monkey standing at full height is the wrong way to approach this, because basically the gimmick is they're riding along on his fur. They don't realize they're on his back. Okay, they think they're in some weird swamp, some kind of like jungle atmosphere here, and then all of a sudden they realize, no, like the ground is alive, and then before you know it, boom, he's at full height. I would have just had him hunched over. Like, I would have had him just starting to wake up here. This would have been his head down here. This would have been his back. His arms kind of pushing up off the ground, roaring, like, rah! But, I mean, just to see him rise up, and then the dirt and the, all of the like, debris and branches and stuff, the ground, the water, the mud streaming off of his belly as he got up. Like he'd been sleeping for years and years and years, and he'd actually become part of the earth, only to be disrupted by the Jawbreakers. And I think that would have been a little more effective. It would have been less of a fall, obviously. And I think there's a little bit of drama there, because he's got to build a little kind of hang glider with his powers to fall. But it just would have made more sense. He got up so, like, he's at full height. It just seems like they're driving up his back, like, well, you don't realize you're driving up a monkey. I don't know. In any case, that's what I would have done. But I don't think people are going to complain about it too much. It's a pretty neat image. Yeah. See, I don't like criticizing stuff. I'll criticize a little bit, because I think that's what people are expecting from a video like this. Even still, the eyeball scene. This is the weirdest thing. I remember when he came up with this, he's like, I got a great idea. He's like, hear me out. The monkey's eyeball gets popped out of his head, and it ends up enveloping, I don't know, one of the guys, I think Hell Priest, gets caught inside of it. Is that what it is? One of the guys gets caught inside of the eyeball, and it keeps rolling, and they got to stop it. I was like, that's extremely morbid and weird, and I'm just going to tell you to keep going with that. You know what I mean? I mean, just keep, like, that's weird. Go do it. I mean, who would have expected that in this book? I mean, make this, make these things your own. Catch people by surprise. Good shot here, a little booty. John Malin can draw women, Yeah, these characters look great. Look at this. This scene right here, I mean, this is John Malin. I guess this is kind of a fastball special situation. Yeah, I mean, that's hot stuff. That's really good stuff. Good foreshortening. I really like the way his body has become kind of the shape of a bullet at this point, with just his feet sticking out at the bottom. He looks aerodynamic. He looks dangerous. He looks compacted. He looks heavy. Oh, excuse me. I'm still getting over being sick, but I'm doing videos anyway. Look at this, right through his head. Boom. Look at his eye. Well, what's left of, I think he's missing an eye here. Eyeball rolled back, right through his head. And this is the scene that I was talking about, where it's just like, I'm only safe when I'm with you. She says, "How you just met him, girl? You just met him. What are you talking about? You're only safe when you're, surely you've been safe before." Great looking designs of characters. Here, these guys. I mean, this is a really, really cool design. There's another really sharp design. I got to skip ahead. Oh, here it is. That's a really sharp design as well. I mean, every now and then as an artist, I'm sure you kind of high five yourself for getting it just right. And John Malin got it just right here. This creepy, skinny kind of Aborigine priest character. Great job. Skip ahead. More good stuff. I mean, look. You're looking for big, muscular kind of superhero guys and beautiful women, and that's what you get in this book. That was the attitude. That's the sensibility that ZACK was trying to bring back. It's crazy. Oh my God, this big monkey. All right. So anyway, that's I'll skip ahead and just say, look, it was a lot of fun, and it was much better than Iron Sights. Much better than Iron Sights. A big improvement, big step forward for Richard C. Meyer. I'm sure his next book will be even better than this. But I think that the people who bought this and the people who bought this specifically for the John Malin story alone, because that's mostly what people were pitched. That's mostly what people were expecting. I think people are going to be really happy about this. I think they're going to feel like they got their money's worth. And this is a good lengthy story. That's a lot of work here. Those are a lot of pages. And then, I haven't read this yet, but this is Jawbreakers book 1. I guess this is a book that ZACK drew, and he was trying to do a Kickstarter for it, but he ended up refunding everyone and never finished it. Well, he finished it, and he had someone kind of, hook him up and make some changes, improve the art and the colors. And, it's pretty good as an artifact. I don't know how it's going to read. I don't know if it's going to read as well as the John Malin issue, but it's fun. I mean, it's a nice bonus. And then here's book 2, drawn by Kelsey Shannon, and boy, is this artwork pretty. Big, fat, thick lines, and a lot of expressive characters, a lot of great faces. It reminds me of John Bogdanov's artwork on Man of Steel in the 90s. I'm a big fan of his. I wonder if Kelsey is, because that's really what this looks like to me. It looks like John Bogdanov. And again, one of my favorite artists. John Bogdanov is one of my favorite artists. So I'm pleased with this artwork. I have not read this story yet, but I gotta say, this looks pro. This really does look pro. All right, so at the end of the day, this is a lot more of a comic than I think people were expecting. A lot more of a comic than they were anticipating. You got a nice shot of everyone's favorite puppy here, Luna. Look at Luna's lower teeth sticking out. It's a great dog. You got some sample artwork from the kind of backup pinup section in the back here. I think that's Sashi's artwork. Pablo Romero here. There's my cover in black and white. And then also, when ZACK hit $60,000, that was when we agreed that I would do a cover for his comic book. ZACK paid me to do it. And, I think I charged him half my rate or something like that. And I ended up putting that money into something else for him. Yeah, I don't want to profit off of my friends at all. This is just an honor to be a part of, and I'm really proud of him. I'm proud of him for getting this done and getting this out. Yeah. So you guys, let me know what you think. Obviously, I don't want to get copyright struck by showing off too much of the book, but this is momentous. This is an achievement. This is an accomplishment. This is the start. I think this is the beginning of a lot more great stuff from this creative team, and I'm excited about it. This is the start of a lot of great things for Comicsgate as a whole. So everybody kind of take a bow, enjoy it. When you get your copy, you'll probably get your copies this week, unless you're probably out of the country. I don't know how long it'll take to get you internationally, but yeah, awesome job. Awesome job, ZACK. Awesome job, Brett Smith. Great colors by Brett. Oh my gosh, I gotta mention that. I don't think, like, I don't know, colors. I was talking about how colorists are like girls. I mean, it's like I've got my colorist, and Kyle is awesome, but again, when it comes to colorists, your eyes wander a little bit, and you go, that guy, I wonder what that colorist would look like over my stuff. It's a tortured metaphor, excuse me, but it is or analogy. It is like that a little bit. Like Brett Smith's stuff here, I mean, really, really cool, really good, sharp, fun, bright, vivid colors that enhance John Malin's work. I think, like, probably the best John Malin's work has ever looked, and that's because of Brett. So obviously that's great. And then John Malin, of course, great artist as well, and congrats to him. Congrats to everyone who was a part of this. All right, guys, thanks a lot. Leave me comments below. Let me know what you thought. If you got your book yet, what your thoughts are. What your thoughts are on my thoughts, and what your own thoughts are. Click like, please, share, and subscribe if you haven't yet. Thanks, everyone. Bye. Hey, I got a P.O. box. Want to send me some mail? Send it to Ethan Van Sciver, P.O. Box 607, Marlton, New Jersey, 08053. And I'll probably open it up on the live stream. Thanks very much, everyone. Hey, you want to follow me on Twitter? Are you sure? Well, if so, I'm at Ethan Van Sciver. That's at Ethan Van Sciver. See you there. Show your friends you support independent comics while showing the world who you back in the fight against the swarm with the brand new Cyberfrog t-shirt from Crypto Fashion and Comic Artist Pro Secret. Sizes come in small to 5XL, and take your choice of colors between navy blue, white, and black. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and order the Fandom Menace, Go Get Daddy's Belt, Tico, and Soilo t-shirts as well. Link is below in the description. You're gonna look great. People love these shirts. They fit wonderfully. Thank you very much. If you enjoyed this video and want to become part of this community, subscribe to this channel by clicking the Laughing Man face logo right on your screen. Ring the bell for notifications as well. You'll never miss a live chat. And stay tuned, another video by Comic Artist Pro Secrets is coming right up.